Hello, welcome back to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. So now is the time when I've decided to finally take on one of the bigger questions that keeps coming up. Why was Biden asked to step down? And everyone's like, what are these approval ratings and what do they mean? What are the historical context? Well, I hope to kind of help everybody with that in this video. Now, to be clear, before anyone starts commenting, before you start getting emails, I am fully aware this is not fair. That every administration deals with its own problems, and that you can't really compare a presidential election in the 60s to the ones in the 90s to ones in the 2000s and 2010s and so forth. They're just different things. These different technologies, there's different issues, the voter universe is different, there's a lot more voters now, so I get it. But this is the data that we have to work with, so we kind of have to go with what we've got. All right, so let's start. So this is Truman. Yeah, I told you I was going to start at the beginning. So this is Truman's approval. He's the gray line, and then Biden is the green line. Okay. So they look at this and go, okay, how did Truman do in his election? Well, he did pretty good. But you could see at the end there, he really picked up, and for the vast majority of his administration, he was well above 50%. So then we go look at Eisenhower. Man, they really loved Eisenhower. No one's seen those kind of numbers in forever. Something about that New Deal, I guess. Anyway, uh, so they look at Eisenhower and they look at Biden at like day 1018 and go, okay, what are we looking at here? So that of course gives them pause, right? Kennedy, even though he didn't finish out his first term, we still have quite a bit of data. And he was full on 20 points above where Biden was. And then we look at Lyndon Johnson. Well, definitely on his way down, but for the vast majority of his administration, he was above 50%. And it wasn't until the end that he wasn't. And then you look at Richard Nixon, above 50% for the vast majority of his administration. Really fell off there at the end, though, didn't he? Then you get Gerald Ford, who there's a lot of similarities between Biden and Ford. And Ford, of course, didn't run again. And that was definitely a, kind of indicator. When you see these two lines getting really close, that draws some concern with the donor universe, with all the people who do electoral sciences, things of that nature. Jimmy Carter, this is the one that, most of these guys remember the most because they were alive, right? I was at a Carter rally where they wheeled me in my stroller, so technically I was there too, but I don't remember much. But again, Carter and Biden, you're seeing a lot of a lot of similarities, but even Carter did better than Biden. Remember, Carter lost, so this is what they're looking at. Ronald Reagan, again, definitely at the end doing better, but he had his little spots, and I think it was probably Iran Contra or something, right? So, but still better than Biden. George H.W. Really doing much better than Biden across the entire spectrum until the end, where he kind of meets up with Biden, then goes way down, goes up, and goes down, and then again lost. Now I do understand that this loss was because of a third party candidate getting 14 points. I get it. Ross Perot, can't talk. That guy gave us Clinton. Let's be clear. So, true. But also, they look at this and they compare it anyway. Speaking of Bill Clinton, well, that guy had his ups and downs. But, here we are, and doing better than Biden. And then you've got George W. Bush, pretty much his entire administration did. Boy, you can really see where 9/11 is on his approval ratings, huh? Yep. And he wasted it all away. Man, what a waste of administration. Oh well. But they gave us Obama, who, yeah, he was never always above 50%, But again, 10 points better than Biden on average. So, and he was able to, win his second administration and so forth and so on. And then Donald Trump looks just like Biden. And I think this is probably the math they were looking at and really freaking out. Right? So, they don't want this. Right? They like this matchup versus somebody else. Like, they'll take this matchup like of an Obama, no problem, right? That's 5-point difference. Easy. So this is the one that scared them the most. I think it was a 50-50 shot, and I think everyone else did too. But when you're looking at Project 2025, which feel free to review the 15 episodes I did on that. If that doesn't scare the crap out of you, nothing will. It just, was it worth the risk? So, and that was the risk assessment they were taking. Did they want to completely deep six our federal government? Did they want to completely de-six the EPA? Did they want to completely screw over our military and our veterans and everyone on Medicaid and Medicare? Did they want to upend our entire financial system? Get rid of FDIC? All the things that they're talking about doing. And there's a lot of them, and that's why I broke them all into little pieces. So it was easier to, understand with 2025. They're just looking at that and they're freaking out, man. And I get it. I mean, I super get it. I mean, I got pictures with Biden. I love Biden. Joe he's my guy. I love him. But also, math is math, and you gotta really pay attention. So let's talk about Kamala for a little bit of this video. So when we're looking at unfavorables and favorables, right? So versus Donald Trump, her favorables, and keep in mind this is brand new, like she hasn't even had a chance to do anything. And what you'll notice right there at the end, her favorables are going up and her unfavorables are going down. But her unfavorables cap out at like 49.1. Trump's unfavorables cap out at 51.9. That's a big difference. If your unfavorables are above 50%, that means the independent voters are not voting for you. That means you are not going to win. And they would look at this data and go, you know what? His unfavorables are complete garbage. And that's where we can win this. But we were losing independent voters with Biden because they thought he was too old. We were losing young voters with Biden because they thought he was too old. And it was the hammer that they were just beating on the Democrats with nationally at every level, congressional, U.S. Senate, gubernatorial, you name it. They were just beating on that drum. Well, we took the drum away from them. And as you can tell, they're now floundering. So I don't really have a quote for this one. I just wanted to kind of talk about the math with everybody. Feel free to comment. I did say that different, presidential administrations ran into different problems. But I'll tell you, this is what they were looking at when they decided to kind of ask Biden, in not a very nice way, in my personal opinion, to step down. But Biden did the right decision. He did it for everyone in this country because he knows that those independent voters and those young voters is the only way. Because Trump voters aren't going to change. Those MAGA voters are locked. All right. And if you watch the video before this one, the one on the 7th, you'll see that the math is solid. If we can get those Republicans to vote Democrat just once, huge difference. Independent votes Democrat just once, huge difference. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you want to support the work that I do, the research I do, and all the things that it takes to put these videos together, please, you can donate and support this channel on PayPal at CLSB Politics. Hope everyone has a good day. Bye-bye.